Let's go. What is up, everybody? Today, everyone's reacting to 15 rare fireworks, and I actually kind of want to see like how good these fireworks look.
As you can already see, there's like a star with like.
Yeah, it kind of looks like I don't know what it kind of looks like. I don't know, but yeah, like a star. We'll go with that. But before we get right into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It would really help the channel out. And let's jump right into it.
Lord of the Dragon firework. Most fireworks shoot up, go off, and then fizzle away. However, this dragon firework works a little bit differently.
My.
That's because after it's set off, the flames shoot out and then begin to dance around the sky. And they appear to race each other along twists and turns in a way that makes them look a lot
That's
like
incredible.
a flying dragon.
That is cool.
Yet while these dragon fireworks are cool, they aren't all that easy to come by. So chances are
I don't know how like that. How does that happen? Like how do you ingenuity the fireworks to do that? Like that actually looks so cool. I would love that, like have it like pitch black out and have that like go off at nighttime.
or you wouldn't be able to fire one of these off in your backyard.
Imagine
Number
setting
14,
that off.
the fiery eye. While there are various types of spinning fireworks, few are quite like the fiery eye, made by Brothers Fireworks. When launched, it starts out as a dark circle with spinning bands.
That's
Gradually,
nice.
these bands speed up until the firework looks exactly like an eyeball, as it has a black pupil, a blue iris, and a red border
It
around
looks
the
like
iris,
an eyeball
and a
with
white
like...
shooting effect around the iris to complete the
Yeah.
eyeball look. If you launch two of them side by side, you have the makings of a cool yet somewhat creepy fireworks show. Number 13,
That's just sick.
plane fireworks. If you've ever been to an air show,
Those have to
you've
be
seen planes
insane.
duck, dive, and flip all over the place. However, an Australian airplane firm by the name of HD Melbourne Aviation have taken things to a new extreme by creating fireworks that shoot out of their specialty stunt airplane, which is known as the Scandinavian Catwalk.
The trail's just
The
gonna go for like 10
Scandinavian
minutes.
Catwalk went viral after it performed at the Aviation Air Show in Melbourne, and that's because as Sandstorm by Darude played in the background, it soared through the sky, shooting
Jeez,
lasers and
that
aerial
was
fireworks
awesome.
all the while. As it did so, some of the fireworks were crazier than others, with a few appearing to engulf the entire plane in flames for long periods of time, making it look more like a shooting fireball than a stunt aircraft.
I like how when all the free planes like come close, they look like two comets and like something in the middle holding them together.
Yeah, like a big meteor. Yeah.
So yeah, it's fair to say that these specialty fireworks
That actually like
truly are
looks
unique.
like pretty nice.
Number 12, loudest firework. We can all agree that fireworks are pretty loud, with the sound often being compared to that of a gun being shot or a bomb going off, by being absolutely ear-shattering. And according to Epic Fireworks, which is the UK's largest online fireworks supplier, the Dum Bum 49 shot is
Jesus.
easily one of the world's loudest.
It's like you're shooting like a
Given a noise
sniper.
rating of 10 out of 10,
That's probably
they
gonna
give off,
break the
quote,
sound
intense,
barrier.
powerful blast that can often be felt in your chest, end quote. And if that's not enough power for you, Epic Fireworks even sells a Dum Bum noise pack that can bring the noise up to 11. Yet it's not a surprise, given that how loud these are. These crazy fireworks are rarely purchased for fireworks shows, making them truly a rare
You
find.
just do that in like a small town,
Number
then
11,
everybody's like,
chocolate
what
fireworks. While this may sound a little crazy, on December 31st of 2002, the chocolate conglomerate Nestle kicked off the new year by setting off a chocolate firework. Measuring in at 3 meters in height and 1.5 meters in diameter,
look at
it
his
contained
mouth.
60 kilograms of Swiss chocolates and was released at the Hechtplatz in Zurich, Switzerland. When lit, it reportedly
the? Fireworks aren't evolved enough. Now we need chocolate fireworks.
That'd be actually pretty cool. Like it blows up and like
A bunch of chocolate just flies and you like catch one in your mouth.
chocolate bars.
exploded
Yeah.
and released all 60 kilograms of chocolate, and as such it attained the Guinness World Record for being the world's largest chocolate firework. Yet this chocolate firework leaves a few questions unanswered. After all, how in the world was it possible to heat up a firework to a temperature that was hot enough for it to explode, but cool enough not to melt all the chocolate inside? Unfortunately, we'll probably never know, as there appears to be no videos online that shows a recording of the event.
Of course not.
Number 10, fireworks glasses. When you see a fireworks show, you can expect to see cool explosions, flashing lights, and bright colors. However, if you manage to find a special pair of 3D fireworks glasses, you can take your experience to a whole new level. Sold by American Paper Optics, these glasses
would
have
look like you're at a
holographic diffraction
concert.
grating lenses that break light into amazing rainbow bursts, and depending on the effect that you're looking for.
I have to try this. That has to actually be pretty awesome to see.
Like all the.
I never thought of that before. Like 3D glasses with like fireworks. I've also like never heard of it, but like that'd actually be pretty.
You can try out different
cool to
types
see.
of glasses. For example, while most of them allow you to see a rainbow spectrum of colors within the firework, some, such as the trippy diffraction glasses, have tie-dye frames and supposedly allow you to see a
at all the
psychedelic
hearts.
string of colors. So if you want the fireworks experience of a lifetime, then I highly suggest trying to get your hands on some of these
Oh,
before the next
so
major
cool.
holiday. Number 9. Under ice fireworks.
What?
When you see a frozen lake, chances are that your first thought isn't to shoot fireworks at it. Yet in 2008, a group of Swedish guys looking for a good time created a viral video of themselves doing just that. In the video, they light several fireworks underwater and then watch as they travel under the ice and create a massive water explosion. While it may seem strange that fireworks don't go out if placed underwater, they manage to stay lit because of the combustion reaction occurring as the firework goes
Look at all
off.
the
It provides
water
itself
just-
with enough oxygen to stay alight. This is very similar to how spaceships are able to function, and despite being in the vacuum of space,
Jesus.
the oxygen in their combustion compensates for their lack of oxygen
It
in their
brings the
surroundings.
water up with
And
it.
you had to do like a massive firework like in the wintertime. Like just like a expensive, like a big expensive firework.
Like put it under the snow, then all the snow just goes like in the sky.
Like a big rocket ship firework. Put it under like a lake and then point towards the center, and then the whole that'd be awesome to see.
It would be like a waterfall in the sky.
I mean, it would just be like one of those like fountains that like go up, like that they shoot up, but it would be like the pond, like all the water would just like go like 50 feet in the air.
In any case, while this display is cool, it should be noted that firework explosions are magnified underwater, and they can also cause the local fish to die and then float to the surface. So while they may be cool, I wouldn't suggest setting them off at your local lake or pond. Number 8. Shapeshifters. Let's face it, most fireworks aren't all that memorable. After all, while they make a loud noise and produce a colorful explosion, most will more or less be forgotten in a few days. However, there are some fireworks that distinguish themselves from the rest by exploding into different shapes. You see, in
It
order to
looks
make a
like
shaped firework, all the
planets.
individual firework casings
I
have to
like
be
that.
lined up into the desired
Look at
configuration.
that heart. It
For
just-
example, if they're placed in the shape of a smiley face, they should, in theory, create a smiley face. However, this sometimes isn't enough, as it can often be difficult to make sure they're consistent within your line of sight. That's because depending on what angle you're standing at, there's a good chance that the firework won't actually look like its intended shape. So, in order to prevent this from happening, pyrotechnicians will often ensure that all the fireworks in the sequence go off at the same time. This makes the shape the same from all angles and guarantees that the
I
firework will
like
be
when
great.
it explodes, then it explodes into
Number
the
7. Drone
Yeah.
works. Drones have exploded in popularity in recent years, and it's not hard to see why. After all, they can do everything from providing fantastic footage to acting as a security detail. Yet it turns out that they aren't just putting photographers and security guards out of business. That's because reportedly drone light shows can make a great alternative to
I've
fireworks.
seen this. I've heard of this before.
But I haven't seen one.
Yeah, I've heard of this before, but I've heard it's like really
While drone
good.
light shows are still quite new, they're beginning to become more popular.
Yeah, they
because
have
they're
like
not only
1,000 and
reusable,
like
but
a.
also don't produce the chemical or noise pollution caused by fireworks. In order for a drone to partake in such a show, it only has to be equipped with a good GPS and an LED light system, with some drones, such as those made by Intel, being able to produce more than 4
Yeah, stuff
billion
like
light
that.
Like
combinations.
3D.
However, to
Yeah.
date, there are only a few dozen companies worldwide that have the proper permits, training, and technical skills and supplies to plan and carry out such a large-scale
Look how
drone
light that is. Like it's lighting up that whole entire spot. It's bright.
show. So while these shows may be rare, they're proving to be a lucrative
Nah.
industry moving into the future.
That looks so trippy.
Number 6. Long exposure fireworks. When filming fireworks, your phone camera is definitely a little bit limiting. After all, you need a professional DSLR camera in order to capture fireworks in this way. And while the upfront cost may be expensive, DSLRs allow you to get the types of pictures that few can ever claim to have in their photo album. Now, the first step to taking a long exposure firework picture is to mount your DSLR on a tripod. Then you've got to turn on long exposure noise reduction. Prepare your camera to a setting that produces the highest quality file size possible. Set the camera to an ISO of 200 or lower and have an aperture of about f11. Then, instead of choosing a shutter speed, set the camera to bulb or B, which allows you to keep the shutter open for as long as you desire. You then expose an entire fireworks burst while keeping the camera manually focused towards it. The end result is a shot that makes the fireworks look 3D. Given how this is impossible to see in real life, we'd say that these hard-to-produce firework pictures are usually far cooler than the real deal. Number 5. Underwater fireworks. Generally speaking, most fireworks we look at occur high in the sky. However, there are a couple of ways to create fireworks of sorts that are entirely produced underwater. The easiest way is through the use of some water, oil, and food dye. More specifically, the experiment involves putting room temperature water in one glass and oil with different colors of food coloring that are very lightly mixed inside another. Once the 2 cups are ready, you have to pour the oil into the water glass. And because they don't mix, the oil remains on top with the food coloring. Then, slowly, the food coloring drops begin to fall out of the oil suspension and into the water, creating a colored underwater fireworks show.
Ooh.
If you want to see some more heavy-duty underwater fireworks, then you
That's
have to mix
like
some more heavy-duty
It's not bad.
substances.
That's like a
More specifically, if you mix distilled water, 100 milliliters of bleach solution, 10 milliliters of hydrochloric acid, and 2 to 3 pebble-sized pieces of calcium carbide, you can create a reaction where underwater sparks that look like fireworks begin to occur as these different parts mix together. Yet, unless you get all the timing just right, it's difficult.
I love these home creations.
Yeah, like I don't know how people like figure this stuff out with like DIYs. Like all DIY, like most of them are pretty clever and like honestly pretty nice to do.
Difficult to pull these crazy fireworks off. Don't forget to wear your safety goggles. Number 4, the Catherine wheel. While Catherine wheels are some of the oldest fireworks out there, you usually don't see them at your typical fireworks show. Essentially, Catherine wheels are usually powder-filled spiral tubes that look a lot like wheels, and when ignited, not only create sparks and flames, but also rotate quickly in order to create an incredible spinning motion. While these fireworks may seem pretty advanced, they actually first came about all the way back in the 70s.
Like just like the smoke coming off of it looks pretty insane.
1961. This perhaps explains why they have a name that is very Christian in origin. You see, the Catherine wheel was named after St. Catherine of Alexandria, who, after being condemned to death and ordered to be crushed by a massive wheel, allegedly managed to avoid this terrible torture by touching the wheel, which caused it to miraculously fall to pieces. Now, while you don't need to worry about your Catherine wheel falling to pieces, they are sometimes avoided due to their potential to spin out of control if not set off properly. Yet that hasn't stopped professionals from trying to make these wheels as massive as possible. To date, the largest Catherine wheel was made by Lilly Fireworks Factory in Malta in June of 2011. It comes in at a total of 32 meters in diameter. The whole thing was freestanding and managed to complete a total of 4 rotations using its own propulsion. Yeah, this crazy firework was pretty incredible. Number 3, the homemade Roman candle. Roman candles are relatively small and will let off a long, bright plume of light. However, in 2016, a Ukrainian man by the name of Yuri Yaniv decided to make a massive Roman candle that was like no other. In order to make his crazy homemade creation, he collected 10,000 sparklers and then lined them together in a massive drum garbage bin that was lined with aluminum foil. Then, after lighting a small wooden fuse that lit up multiple sparklers at once, the 50-kilogram firework went off. The result was a firework that, over the time span of about 30 seconds, launched a massive flame plume into the sky, making it pretty impressive considering the fact that it was made in Yaniv's garage. According to Yaniv, quote, "Everything about the video was pretty dangerous, so we had to be extremely careful of what we were setting up. One wrong move and it could have gone off. But it was the weather that proved to be the biggest problem. We had to wait till it wasn't windy so that the sparklers would actually work and not get blown out." End quote. Yeah. Despite the initial problems, I think the massive height of the flame and the fact that the whole thing continued to burn for 2 hours afterwards indicates that the firework launch was a massive success.
Jesus, 2 hours?
Number 2, the world's largest firework. You won't find a 1,000-kilogram firework at your local party store. making these massive fireworks.
Dude, that literally like the sun went and exploded because it literally lit up the whole like town.
Yeah, what, like lit up like a nuclear bomb went off.
1,000-kilogram
Like,
firework at your local party store, making these massive fireworks exceptionally rare. Yet when it comes to pure size and mass, there is no firework in the world that is quite like the one set off at the Steamboat Springs Winter Carnival in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Set off on the night of February 9th, 2020, its weight of over 1,200 kilograms and length of 157 centimeters in diameter handed it the Guinness World Record for being the world's largest aerial fireworks shell, as it edged out a 1,087-kilogram firework that was launched in January of 2018 in the UAE. Now, this massive firework was created by a team known as Steamboat Fireworks, which is led by a fireworks enthusiast and pyromaniac named Tim Borden, and the team had to go through quite a lot in order to break the record. Steamboat Fireworks began its work in 2017 when they launched a shell that was 122 centimeters in diameter, with this being recognized as the largest shell ever in the Western Hemisphere. Then in 2019, they attempted to fire off an 1,100.
You know, like, funny this would be, like, say, like, the U.S. and, like Russia's at war, and then, like, say it's, like, a battlefield. You just drop this on them, and it goes off.
Then they're like, celebrate.
And then they're, like, blindsided. It's like a flash bomb. It's like a massive flash bomb.
100-kilogram firework, yet this ultimately failed to launch off the ground. However, in 2020, they successfully launched their record-breaking firework, which, according to Tim Borden, was only possible after they invested hundreds of hours into the project. However, given how impressive the final result was, I'd say that the time commitment was totally worth it.
Way more than a mile.
Number 1. Blue fireworks. While you've almost certainly seen your fair share of red, orange, green, and yellow fireworks, chances are that you've never seen a blue one. That's because from a scientific standpoint, these fireworks are extremely difficult to manufacture. Now, to understand why, you need to understand the basics of around how fireworks function. The majority of fireworks have 5 main ingredients: fuel, coloring agent, glue, fuse, and pellet. More specifically, the fuel is usually gunpowder, and the coloring agent is usually some sort of salt-based chemical compound. And in order for a firework to go off, all of these components have to be glued together, put into a pellet, and then lit with a fuse so they can be fired off. Now, when it comes to the coloring agent, most colors are pretty simple. After all, you can use sodium salts to create yellow, strontium salts for red, aluminum salts for gray, and barium salts for green. However, while copper chloride should theoretically produce blue, it doesn't always work out. That's because if the temperature gets too hot, the blue-producing chemicals in the copper chloride begin to break down and fade away. While alternatives such as arsenic were used in the past, regulators have put a lid on the use of such dangerous elements, and to this day, scientists still haven't found a commercially viable and safe way to create blue fireworks. This is made worse by the fact that there's not much incentive to make them. After all, since
I don't know.
R.I.P. blue.
Like that got me. I feel like I've seen a lot of blue fireworks. Like
I feel like.
I mean, I definitely haven't seen more of the like red or white, but I've seen I've seen blue fireworks like a lot.
I feel like you would at least see one in like a year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
the sky is often some shade of blue, blue fireworks are hard to see in both the daytime and nighttime sky. So while there are technically some extremely expensive blue fireworks out there, chances of you finding some without special connections are slim to none. Watch our binge-watching play.
I swear I've seen. I don't know. I've never like heard that blue fireworks are rare. I've never ever like heard that before. But I don't know. Yeah, some of those fireworks were pretty good. Like the big one.
The dragon.
Yeah, I just don't know how like they do like how they like manufacture them to like work like that, like just like go around like in the sky. That's pretty good.
I like the Catherine wheel the most.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I'm actually quite curious to see like within like 10 to 20 years like how impressive fireworks would be, because like
it's probably gonna go on for like 2 hours.
Well, I know, cause yeah, probably. I've heard like the drones, I've heard those are like very good, which is a clever idea to use like drones for like a fireworks show, cause like you saw like they made like a bunch of trippy illusions and stuff of like items and stuff. It looked pretty cool. But that is it for today. If you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoyed our reaction, please leave a subscribe. If you have any other videos you'd like us to react to, leave them in the comments down below. See ya.